Remember when Concerned Ape said that the 1.6 update was going to be small and mostly focused on modding improvements? Well, forget all of that because we now have even more information on what's coming thanks to a tweet from Concerned Ape the other day. To get you caught up on what we knew up to this point, tons of changes are going to happen under the hood to make it easier for modders to make mods. We'll be able to move our farmhouse and pet bowl just like any other building on the farm. The map will now show our exact location. The farm computer will show information about whatever screen it's on instead of just the farm, allowing it to be used on Ginger Island as well. And most likely the item ID system is going to get fixed, so you can no longer do things like use a yellow couch as wool or a green wallpaper as a prismatic shard. Other than a number of small bug fixes, that's all we knew last time I made a video on this subject. Since then, Concerned Ape has slowly leaked details on the update through a bunch of tweets. We've been given an image of this Joja parrot asking for money. This seems to be at the ledge to the left of the volcano on Ginger Island. And we got another tweet simply saying, Iridium Scythe. This tweet has 65,000 likes. And yesterday he released the largest teaser of them all, an image with a list of a bunch of features that's going to be added, and sprites that we can only speculate about. Let's go over the list. First up, we have a new major festival. We kinda knew about this before. Safe to say this will be like many of the festivals we have now where you enter, time stops, and you can take your time to talk to everyone and leave whenever you're ready. Jury's out on what this could be. People are torn between a real life holiday and a made up holiday, so who's to say? More surprisingly after that, we have 2 new mini festivals. I'm assuming this would be like the night market in winter, where time doesn't freeze while you're there and you can come and go as you please. It's not really a whole event. It's weird to call something like that a mini festival because I find the night market to be much more important than the main festivals, but that's all I could guess that it could be. There's not really anything else like that unless you want to count salmonberry or blackberry season. Next, new late game content expanding on each of these skill areas. This is a wild one, because to me, that almost guarantees at least one new major area. Now I want to talk about these pictures on top, because I think that these are related to that last bullet point. If you ask me, this green star looks like a new seed or fruit for farming. These look like amber, which could be a new mining resource. This is a machine that has something to do with fishing, maybe a way to turn them into an artisan product, since as it is now, fishing isn't really useful in the late game. And this bush could have new forageables, like the salmon and blackberry bushes. I've seen a few guesses that it could be olives. Next point, new items and crafting recipes, right next to which we get 3 images. The first is a warp totem, further hinting towards a new area. Unless it would just warp to the walnut room or something, which seems redundant with the island warp totem. I suppose it's possible it could be a second weather totem, but unless it just makes a sunny day, I can't really see the use in that. I don't know what weather it would be. Most likely, it's a warp to somewhere new. We have a new tea-like item. Drinks are always exciting since any buffs they give can stack with food buffs. Not sure what this would add that we don't already have. Speed and luck are already covered, and I'm not sure many of the other buffs would really be worth it, unless it gives one of every buff. And since it is a late game item, I could see that being reasonable. This last sprite, it took me a while to really parse it out, but it looks like to me a quiver with arrows in it. Adding a new weapon type would be absolutely wild, but we've seen that he has a bow and arrow in Haunted Chocolatier, and maybe he wanted to test it out in Stardew. It could just effectively be an upgrade to the slingshot, or it could just be something else entirely because this sprite is weird. There are 100+ new lines of dialogue. This is another one we kind of already knew. He replied to a tweet saying so. New winter outfits for villagers. I love that the last update gave us swimsuits, and now we're essentially getting the opposite. We have 2 sneak peeks of the new outfits with Jas and Sebastian at the bottom, both looking snazzy. A lot of people also seem to think that this is Shane's winter sprite. I'd have to disagree since I spot what looks to be a goatee on them. That's probably a new minor character entirely. Speaking of these sprites, we have a box here that looks a suspicious amount like the bundles the Junimos carry in the community center. Or it could be a loot box. I don't really know. It also looks a little bit like the supply crates that can wash up on the beach farm. This could really go anywhere. Then we have a ticket. I claim that this is our final and conclusive hint that a new area will be added. I claim that this is a new ticket for a second destination on the bus, or maybe even a train ticket. Moving on, there's a new type of reward for completing billboard requests. So I'm pretty sure this is referring to these build board requests, and not the special orders board. As of now, the only reward you get is money and a little bit of friendship with the person you completed the quest for. It'd be neat to be able to get items as a reward. I imagine it would be semi-valuable items like maple syrup or 10 coal, for example. PC support for 8-player multiplayer, which was technically already in the game without mods. All you had to do was edit your save file to accommodate for more than 4 players, but it's nice that it's being added as an official feature. Many small additions and adjustments, probably in reference to many of the things I mentioned in the last video. A new farm type. What could they even do at this point? I gave it some thought about what areas aren't represented in a farm type yet. Everyone has their little theories. I believe that it's going to be a swamp farm, based off of the witch's hut and the mutant bug lair. Here, crops that can be irrigated, like rice or taro tubers, can be irrigated anywhere. You could fish up slime jacks and void salmon from the water, and if you enabled monsters, you'd only get bugs. There's a couple of reasons why I believe that to be the new farm type. First of all, it is a perfect farm for these frogs. Now, gold, void, and blue, what does that remind me of? That's right, I think these frogs are going to be the next animal added, and they'll produce slime and bug meat. I don't know. The other reason that I haven't seen many people mention yet is these trees aren't in the game. That's a new type of tree, and it looks kind of mangrovey, so maybe it's a decoration for the swamp biome. Yes, we do already have a mangrove tree in the game, but that hasn't stopped Concern Date before. And the last point is new secrets and more, which is wild because I can hardly imagine even more being added on top of everything so far. So, he said this was going to be a small update, but from what we've been shown, this is almost comparable to 1.5. As of now, there's no release date, and I think we're better off without it. It'll be ready when it's ready. I have 100% trust in Concern Date to deliver. That's all I got. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and good night.